So here I am back at the Wigwam place. It's lovely, it's lovely. I think I'm the only one here. I haven't seen anybody else tonight. These are the Wigwams, that one's mine. They call them Wigwams, they're just like really nice. It's better than a tent. You know, it's warmer, it's got a kettle in there, a toaster. But you don't need that. There's an actual kitchen in here. It's like a youth hostel, but you sleep out there. And I've had an oven, which has been such a luxury. I've had a few takeaways whilst I've been in my tent, but it's nice to just have an oven and cook what you want to cook. So, I've treated myself, beer, obviously, and a pizza. I made a pizza, stuffed crust pizza. Look at the size of that. Looking forward to that. Chicken stuffed crust. It is, now this might interest you, might not. It is 20 to midnight. I've been editing all night. I didn't get back till maybe 10, and I've been editing. But yeah, it's 20 to midnight. Look how light it is outside. It's ridiculous. North of Scotland, honestly, it just doesn't get dark. I think it might do a lit. Mind you, we're still far north. I don't know. It might get dark tonight. It might not. One bit of bad news, though, I should share with you. I've gone to smash my phone again. That is the third time I've done it on this trip. In 11 months, I've smashed my phone 3 times. Luckily, I do have a case on it, and I had a screen protector on it. If I hadn't have had a screen protector on, it would have just completely smashed and not be working now, and I wouldn't be able to record on it. But it's got cracks underneath the screen protector, not massive, and I don't think it's going to break. I think I've got away with it, but it's just so annoying, so annoying. But I'm in good spirits. I'm not going to let that put me down. So yeah, I'm going to carry on editing. As I say, it's 20 to midnight. I've got about 4 hours to edit there, but I'm happy. I'm not tired. I'm in no rush to wake up in the morning. Let's just do this, eat my pizza, drink my beer, and edit. So people, I've just stopped off at a Jet petrol station. I needed some petrol. Have you noticed the lights up there flickering? They're not actually flickering, that's just on the camera. That's really weird. Anyway, I had to show you this. A Jet petrol station, yeah? A jet. They've got a jet in the car park. How cool is that? I don't know what kind of jet it is. I've no idea. I don't know my jet, but I'm sure someone's going to tell me. Please. That is so cool. A jet garage with a jet. Hello. Right, welcome to St. Peter's Kirk. St. Peter's Church here near Duffus. Now, they think there was a church put here because there used to be a Duffus Castle about a mile away, and it was always very normal for people to build a church when they had a castle. They had a church nearby, so that's why they think this was put here. And Old Duffus, the village Old Duffus, was built around the churchyard. There's also a Duffus now, which is bigger. Old Duffus, there's about 3 houses, that's it. There's a few points of interest in here, a few things I want to talk about. The first being the Mercat Cross. Here it is behind me, 13 foot tall and dating from the 1200s or 1300s. And it is a market cross. It's to signify this is where we hold the market in the village. And that's quite common to have markets in graveyards. If that was the biggest open space in the village, they would generally hold the markets in a graveyard. I didn't know that till today, but it's true. It looks like there used to be something on top of it which just snapped off, and I'm surprised that's still standing really, because it's very skinny. It's less than a foot wide at the bottom, and it just gets thinner and thinner as you go up, so I'm surprised that's still standing. There's a lot of graves in here with the skull and crossbones on, and I've never really understood much about it. I've been trying to find out, and I finally have. I found out why they did it. It's because until the 1800s, Like, you'll notice the skull and crossbones are on usually the 1700 graves. And it's because until the 1800s, the cross, the Holy Cross, it was associated more with the Catholic Church. So people didn't use it unless they were Catholic, obviously. And instead, they'd use things like the skull and crossbones, like an egg timer. There's one over there with a bell on it. Angels, all different little symbols to symbolise mortality, basically. And that's why they did it. So the church you see at the moment, that was built in the 1700s, but there was actually a church here from the 1200s, mid-1100s, sorry. That's how old it was, and they reckon they've used some of the stone on this church from the old church. The old church lasted 500 years, and then they built this one. And just at this end of the church, this is the original. They reckon this is from the original 1200s church. All the rest is new. Well, new, I say new, 1700s. But this was original. In the corner of the graveyard over here, you've got a watch house. Now, this was quite common as well. It was to stop grave robbers. Because in the early 1800s, it was very popular, especially in Scotland, for body snatchers to come and dig up newly buried corpses to sell to medical schools. If they took them to a medical school, they'd give them money for it. And people were being dug up. So in 1830, they've built one here. It's actually dated on the top. And what they would have done is have a guard in there every night, just patrolling the graveyard, making sure nobody got stolen. Pretty sick, really. You'd have to be really desperate to have to dig up corpses to sell. But they were desperate, I suppose, in them days. They had no money. Anything to get some money. So that was one way to stop the body snatchers. Another way was they had like a building where they'd store bodies until they've decomposed enough so that they're not any good for medical schools. So they'd store them in a building and then bury them months later when they've decomposed enough. Ugh. But that was built in 1830, and it actually became law in 1832 that basically they would supply medical schools with corpses to stop body snatchers from doing it. So I suppose it's like a donor card. People would donate their corpses for after they died to medical schools. So this was only in use for up to 2 years. And it's still standing today, 2017. There's just so many graves in this graveyard with the 1700s look to them. You've got one here, look, that's got the skull on there with the eyes, nose, 2 bones. You've got the egg timer type thing, hourglass. I don't know what, oh, that's a coffin. A spade. Another spadey type thing, so maybe this guy was a farmer. A coat of arms there, and this is from 1682. 1687. Here's another one with the bell on it. I'm presuming the bell is to signify like time's up, and I'm wondering in Britain when it's last orders at the bar, they ring a bell, and that's time's up. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, time's up. Everyone go home. I wonder if it's all associated to the bell. Time's up. This one is just weird. I can't make out what it says, apart from this guy died in 1759. But look at the moss. The moss is going into the shape of the words. This stone is here, without a H. And then I can't make out much more. Something here in... I don't know, but that is weird. Look at the moss on there. I'm sorry if my lens, if the picture seems a bit steamed up. It's because my camera got wet yesterday. I just hope that's going to sort itself out, because the picture isn't very clear. I don't like it. I'll try drying it out tonight. I could have got keys to come into this church, but I was reading that most people don't bother because you don't need to get in. You can see in from the outside. And this is perfect. I've just come up some steps and you can get a really good view of it from here. Here's one where the grave engraver got it wrong. Who departed. This, look, he's just stuck the S on really small at the end rather than put it on the end of the next line. That's the strangest skull one I've ever seen. That just looks like a pirate. You've got the eyes there, the nose there, the mouth there with teeth, and a pirate's hat on. And it says on it, I can't make it out, it's something like Memento Muri, M-U-R-I. Maybe a word above as well. That's fantastic. So that was St. Peter's Church. I do like coming to churches. You learn something new every time you go there. I learn something new every time I go anywhere, to be honest with you, but you know, when you're researching, you're looking on Wikipedia and all the internet sites, like I found out something new there about the watchtower, about the body snatchers, about the mortality, skull and crossbones. You learn something new, and honestly I don't think I can learn any more because my head's just about to explode. I've gone from a borderline idiot to a borderline professor in like 11 months, 10 months. I just know so many things, it is ridiculous. My head is full of things which I didn't know existed. It's quite exciting. I'm telling you, I'm going to get on a quiz show, a TV quiz show when I get back. I think I'll do really well on some of them. There's one in England called Eggheads, where like the brainiest people in Britain are on it and they win money and stuff. And I reckon I could beat them. I could beat an egghead. So I've been shopping. I'm on a health trip at the moment because it's we've finally found proper supermarkets. We're away from the wild. We've got proper supermarkets now. So, now what I do this once a month, my health trip, 5 a day. You've got to have 5 a day. They say that, don't they? 5 vegetables a day. So I always go through a pack of these a month, vegetable crisps, and they're brilliant. They're really nice. They taste fantastic. You've got parsnips in there, little carrots. Look at me, little carrot, and beetroots. Now, You do the maths. 5 a day for a month. What's that, 150? You get about 170 in there. So if I have a packet of them a month, I don't have to worry about my 5 a day then for the rest of the month. I can just eat whatever I want. And I am. I got some Belgian chocolate cheesecake. Wonderful. Never got that before. I've never been that posh, but I thought I'd go for it today. I've had one of them. It came in 2. I only needed 1. But they must presume single people don't eat cheesecake because they don't do it in ones. You've got to have a girlfriend to be able to have cheesecake, apparently. But I went against that and I just had one anyway. I got this stuff, which I love. I absolutely adore. Innocent drinks. This is good for you. Smoothies. Again, I've got more. I've got more in here. What have I got in here? I bet I've got pineapple, bananas, apples, orange, coconut. There's 5. Honestly, I'm not going to have vegetables for a month. I got some hot and spicy chicken thighs to eat now. They're not very good. They're not like pepper spicy. They're like curry spicy. They're alright, I'll eat them. But not what I would after. And then because I've been so healthy, I thought I'd treat myself to something a bit bad for you. Although it's not that bad really. Microwavable doner kebab. I used to love these and I hadn't seen them for years. So I got 2 of them. And you see, they've got cabbage in there, an onion, tomato sauce, and beef. You know, beef's good for you. So I got 2 of them. And some bread. Bread's good for you. With some more beef inside and a bit of cheese. And some sea salt and cider vinegar crisps. So that's my food for today. Did alright. You know, if you go to a supermarket, it doesn't cost much. It looks like a lot of money, but it's not that bad. These, I think, they're only £1. Yeah, they all look £1. £1. This is my tea. £2 for my tea. Well, £2 for my tea and £1 for my pudding. Just had to put this in, guys, because the people of Elgin play hell about this. It is the most ugly statue ever. A lion with a fish's tail. What's all that about? So this is Suenos Stone. It is the tallest sculptured monument in Britain at 23 feet high. I have never seen anything like it on my journeys. It is unbelievable. On top of that, it's obviously the best Pictish art in Scotland. It is a shame that it's in this big glass cage, but I can see why they've done it. It's so tall, it'd only take some vandals to come over and try and knock it over, and they would. So I respect them for having to do that, but it's a shame you can't get any good photos of it. So let's take a little look at it. On this side you've got a ringed cross there with loads and loads of little squiggles on there, and at the bottom you've got two men like stooped over a third man in the middle, and there's two like assistants, two other little men watching from the sides. On each side of the stone, which that's about a foot thick, on each side of the stone you've got foliage going all the way up and like human skulls, human heads all the way down. I read that, I really can't see it. I'm just seeing loads of squiggly lines, but that's what it says. And on this side you can see a battle going on. It could be a number of 3 battles, but at the bottom you can actually see them getting the heads cut off in the battle. But they're not sure which battle it's referring to. Oh, I can see people on this side, look. We're not sure which battle it refers to. There were 3 battles in the time this was built. So who was Sueno? Apparently he was a Danish king, a Viking king. But yeah, this depicts a battle. Now they can date this from the 800s or 900s. It's the late Pictish area. They can tell by the design or something. I don't know, I'm not a professional when it comes to Pictish things. But they're saying it's for 3 things. It's either to commemorate the Scots' victory over the Picts, it's to commemorate a battle where the Scots and Picts fought together against a Viking invasion, or it's to commemorate a battle in 966 AD between the Scots and the men of Moray. It's one of them, but we're not sure which. But historians seem to think it is about this Kenneth MacAlpine. And they reckon this side is showing his coronation. The men stooped over the man in the middle. That's supposed to be Kenneth, we believe. And they're like onlookers, they're his assistants. So that's his coronation. The historians now think that this is a battle, Scots against the Picts, where the Scots won. And this is pretty much saying, look, the Picts are all gone, the Scottish have taken over, we've got us lands back, and they want everybody to know, so they make a 23-foot monument to let everybody know. It is fantastic. I'd love to see it at night when the lights are on in there, when it's all lit up. I bet it looks amazing. Whether it does light up every night, I don't know, but yeah, beautiful. So that's me done. Absolutely drenched today. I knew it was going to be bad weather today, that's why I chose to do sights and not try to metal detect. But I'm trying to get as many sights done as I can whilst the weather's bad, and then I can get metal detecting when it's dry, and then put some of these sight videos on the end or before, some metal detecting, to try and split it up a bit. But we'll see how it goes. I've had a good day, I've seen lots of sights, I'm buzzing, but I'm tired and wet. It's time for me to go back to my wigwam, do some editing and relax. See you all later on Digging the Coast 3, 6, 5.